everybody's got blocks and a strap. And if you don't like to use them, it's fine, you don't have to. But we'll start with that. All right, so sitting up nice and tall. Let's take a couple breaths here to kind of get focused in. If you want, you can close your eyes. And just take that little inward journey, noticing the breath. And let's do a couple of inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. You can go at your own rate or follow along with me. Inhale and exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale. All right. So if you close your eyes, you're welcome to open them back up again. And let's start with the small joints. I'm gonna shift a little bit here. All right, so starting with the feet, we're gonna extend the legs out in front. Pull the toes back towards the shoulders, extend the heels out, maybe a little softness in the knees, so we're not hyperextending. Nice, and then point and flex. You can do 1 foot at a time, point, or you can do both feet together. And then release that. We'll do circles around with the ankles. We do 1 foot at a time, both together or opposites. Nice. Awesome. All right. Next one is supinate and pronate. So back and forth with the foot, and do 1 at a time. Both together or again opposites. Nice. And let's finish off with windshield wipers. Noticing that movement coming all the way up into the hip socket. Excellent. And shake it. All right. So you're welcome to stay with the legs straight out, or if you want to sit cross-legged, you can do that. And then let's bring the arms out in front, tuck the thumb, wrap the fingers, and make circles around with the wrists. And then you can get bigger into the elbows and the shoulders. All right, release that, and we'll bring the palms together, interlace the fingers, and make figure eights. Awesome sauce. Release that. We're gonna switch which finger is on top. Do a few more. Excellent. Release that, and shake it out. Nice. All right, so head or neck and shoulders. Starting with the neck, we're going to inhale. On the exhale, chin comes down to the chest. Inhale, looking up. Exhale down. Inhale, bring it up. And exhale all the way back down. Nice. One more time. Inhale up. And exhale down. Excellent. Inhale back to neutral, and then let's do ear to shoulder. So we're going to exhale first side, ear to shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, first side. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. Nice. One more time each side. Exhale to the first side. You're going to bring that same arm out, over and around, resting on the side of the head. Opening up between the ear and shoulder. Breathing into any tension that you're finding. Nice. And then to come out, we're going to inhale. Head comes up, arm comes down. Awesome. Other side. Exhale, ear to shoulder. That arm comes out and over and around, making space between the ear and shoulder. Breathing into any tension. Come out, inhale, head comes up, arm comes out and down. Awesome. All right, one more with the neck here, sitting up nice and tall. You're gonna inhale at the center, exhale, turn to the first side. Inhale, center, exhale, second side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the first side. Inhale, center, exhale, second side. One more time each side. Exhale back to the first side. Inhale, center. Exhale, center. Nice. Back to center, and then let's do shoulder rolls. So we're going to inhale forward and up. Exhale down and back. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale back. Excellent. Switch directions. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, down and forward. Excellent. And we'll finish off with a couple more either direction or straight up and down. And then let's come into our 6 directions of the spine. So if your knees are uncomfortable and you want to switch legs in front, you can do that, or the legs can come out straight, whatever you want to do. If the legs are crossed, hands in front of the knees. If the legs are out straight, hands under the thighs. We're going to start with our exhale back to cat. Inhale, rounding up, looking up, cow. And just back and forth between the two, really nice and slow, letting the body warm up naturally. And then back to neutral. I'm going to grab my blocks for a second. So the next one we're going to do is our laterals. And since you have blocks, option to use the blocks for our laterals here. So again, find a nice tall posture. If you don't want to use them, that's totally fine. If you have really long arms, that might be a little uncomfortable. If you have short arms, that might make it nicer. All right, so just an option. So one hand on the floor or your block, inhale the other arm up. Exhale, bring it back. Second side, inhale. And exhale. So go ahead and do a bunch of times on each side, moving with your own breath. Excellent. And one more time each side, or finish off evenly. Nice. All right, so one more here, sitting up nice and tall again. And we're gonna come into our twist. So inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Keeping the twist in the upper half to upper third of the spine. Inhale back to center. Exhale, second side. Excellent. One more time each side, or finish off evenly. Excellent. All right, so let's do a counter pose, and then we'll come up to hands and knees. All right, so legs out in front if they're not already. And let's start with our, we're just gonna do a regular fold. Inhale the arms up. We're hinging at that hip joint. Exhale, fold forward. Wherever you get to, tap down, inhale. Bring it back up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, down. And let's do it one more time. Exhale, we're gonna come down. Grab the legs wherever you're reaching. Pull the chest forward. Exhale, release. You can drop the chin if that's comfortable. Excellent. When you're ready to come out, we're gonna extend the arms over the legs. Push the legs into the ground. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release. Excellent. All right, hands and knees. And grab your blocks. Alrighty. So let's start off with a few cat and cow here. So we're going to exhale cat. Inhale cow. Exhale cat. Inhale. Let's go ahead and do a few more on your own, maybe going slow. Excellent. And then coming to neutral. All right, let's do 2 more poses here. All right, so we'll start with spinal balance. So we're going to send one leg back. You can start with the toes on the floor, or that leg can be horizontal. Opposite arm is forward, pushing back with the heel, extending forward with the fingertips. Option to bring elbow and knee together. Just want to keep the breath going. Excellent. And release. Nice. Take a breath in the middle here. And then let's do the other side. Extend the other leg back. You can start with the toes on the floor, or that leg can be horizontal. Extend forward with the opposite arm. Option to elbow and knee together. Keep the breath going. Excellent. And release. Take a nice breath here. And then the next one we're gonna do is, we're gonna combine thread the needle and the bulldog salute. So fingertips here, bring that up, and then we'll go under. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna start with fingers at the forehead. Inhale, lift the elbow up. And then on the exhale, bring that arm under the other one, coming down to the shoulder side of the head. Inhale. We'll bring the fingers back to the forehead. Elbow comes up. And then exhale, thread the needle, coming down to the shoulder side of the head. Bring it back up, fingers to the forehead. Last one, inhale, elbow up. Exhale, thread the needle. So you can pause here for a moment on the shoulder side of the head. Nice. When you're ready to come up, we're going to push that hand in, and then we'll bring both hands to the mat. All right, let's do the other side. So fingertips to the forehead. Inhale, bring that elbow up. Exhale, thread the needle. Coming down to the shoulder side of the head. Push that hand in, fingertips back. Inhale, elbow up. Exhale, thread the needle. Nice, one more time. Fingers to the forehead. Inhale, lift that elbow. Exhale, thread the needle. Excellent. When you're ready, push that hand into the floor. Come back to tabletop. Let's do 3 to 6 cat and cow. Or actually, no, change that. We'll do cat, cow, child's pose. So we'll start with the exhale cat. Inhale cow. Exhale cat down to child's pose. Inhale, coming back up to cow. Exhale cat down to child's pose. Inhale. Exhale cat down to child's. Nice, one more round. Inhale, coming up. Exhale cat down to child's pose. Take a breath or two in child's pose. And then we're going to work our way back up to table. I'm going to grab the blocks. And then we're going to do some low lunges. All right, so to start out here, 2 ways to get into the first part of our lunge. You can bring both blocks over to the left, and then swing that right leg out and around, and then center that right foot. Or some people can bring it straight through. Either way is fine. So we've got the right foot in front, hands on the blocks. So options, you don't have to use the blocks. You can use them at lower settings. But they're there as a tool, so if you want to use them, you can. If you don't need them, that's fine. All right. So first order of business, we're going to bring the pelvis down towards the floor. So this front knee is going to come forward. We're opening up that left side hip flexor. Excellent. And then back up to neutral. You can stay down on the blocks, or if you want, you can bring that hand up onto that knee. You can stay here, or next option, hands up towards the ceiling. And then one more here, if you want, you can bring the pelvis back down towards the floor and maybe bring the hands back behind the shoulders a little bit, looking up very slightly. Baby crescent moon. All right, coming back to neutral, hands to that knee. Hands can come down to the block. And you can bring that leg out and around or straight back through. And then the other side. Hands over to the right. Swing that left leg out and around, or maybe it comes straight through, either way. All right, so let's start with bringing the pelvis forward, down towards the floor. That front knee goes forward. Excellent, back to neutral. You can stay here, or next option, hands on that knee. And then next option, hands up towards the ceiling. You can stay here, or option to come into crescent lunge. Hands come back a little bit, pelvis down towards the floor. Excellent, coming back to neutral. Hands to the knee, hands to the block. And then bring that leg back. And move the blocks out of the way. Hands come down to the mat. We're going to come into downward facing dog to then come up. If you want to skip that, you can come up to standing. Otherwise, the hands walk forward a bit. And curl the toes under. Inhale, lift the hips up. And let's start with some ankle strengthening here. Coming up on the toes. And then release the heels back down. Excellent. Another option, walk your dog, extend one knee heel, bend the opposite knee. It's a nice calf stretch. Awesome. All right. Next, we're going to straighten the legs as much as comfortable. Push the hands into the floor. Extend the hips towards that back wall. And then when you're ready to come out, look up at the hands and walk the feet forward. Or look back at the feet and walk the hands back. Take a moment in the forward fold. You bend the knees, shake the head, yes and no. And then when you're ready to come out, we're going to bring the arms out to the side, bend the knees, nice and deep. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, and start. Awesome. All right, we made it. Everybody's vertical. All right. So let's come into, let's see where we're at. Let's start with the mountain pose. So you can bring your big toes together, heels a couple inches apart. That's one option. Second option, feet under the hip joints. You can go shoulder width with the feet, whatever kind of works for your balance today. Let's see, let's start with breathing. So I always do that one last. So we're going to start breathing first. And then we'll do a couple of other points. So nice soft knees, neutral pelvic tilt. And then we're going to take the sternum here. We usually do the clavicle and the shoulder blades, but let's do the sternum. So the top of the sternum goes up, the bottom goes down. So that one's important to not have the wrong tilt in the pelvis, because then we're going to pinch that lower back. So if the top of the hips and the bottom of the ribs are connected, and then we're opening up. Awesome. 2 more breaths here. Excellent. All right, moving balance next. So let's start with palm tree pose. Option A, just coming up on the toes. Option B, just the arms. Or put it all together. All right, one more. Nice. Come on, you can shake it out. And then let's do, we're gonna do let's do 2 rounds of Karate Kid Flying Crane. First one, let's do opposites. So we'll start with the hands out to the side. We're gonna lift one knee up, touch it with the opposite hand, and then back to center, other side. One more time each side, or finish off evenly. And release. Nice. All right, the next one we're gonna do is arms straight out in front. And we're just gonna use the same knees, end up like marching. Because we're working up to in 2 weeks, we're not doing it next week, is this one. All right? If you want to start on that one, if you want to practice that one before then, you can do that. Excellent. All right. One more time each side, or finish off evenly. All right, let's do one more hip thing, and then we'll grab our straps. All right, so option to use a chair if you're a little wobbly today, or always. Otherwise, you can do hands down by your side or hands on your hips. And then you want to make sure you're not too close to your neighbor, and that you're not going to kick anything on either side of you. So you may want to move up or move back on your mat. All right, we're just going to do this. Out to one side, and then out to the other side. Excellent. All right, one more time each side, or finish off evenly. And then go ahead and grab your straps. If you don't have one, the bin up here has a bag with straps in it.
Which one?
All right, if you have shoulder issues, be gentle. Or if you've been doing a lot of stuff that you're not used to, be gentle. So we're gonna start just gradual before we go all the way around. So we're just gonna bring the strap kind of wider than straight, but not all the way to a T yet. All right, so we're just gonna start down here. Inhale, bring it up. And then back down. And one thing that will help if you wanna go over the head is pulling the strap apart. And then once you feel like that's warm enough, if you want to go behind the head, you can do that. If you don't want to, that's fine. Just keep it going straight up. And then once you are going a little bit past the head, pause there a moment and then bring it back. If you want to go all the way over and around, you are welcome to do that. But again, just be gentle with those. Very complex joint, the shoulder. Excellent. All right. Do one more. Nice. All right, we got one more thing we're going to do up here, and then we can use the strap later on the floor. So we're gonna bring the strap in one hand. Strap is, so palm up, clasp the strap, and then we're gonna bring that arm up. And we're gonna take the other arm back behind us, and then bend at the elbow. We're gonna take the one strap, so we're pulling down, opening up that tricep. So we hardly ever get into that tricep there. So that's the back side of the arm. Excellent. Take one or two more breaths here. And then release. Bring the arm up and then down. All right, let's switch sides. Start with the strap in the hand, palm faces up, and then we're going to bring it up. And then bring the other arm back. So we're going to gently pull the strap down with the lower arm. And so if we have the elbow out here, we're kind of in the armpit, so we want to have the elbow pointing straight up. And we'll take two more breaths here. Nice. And then bring the arm up and release like that. Awesome. All right. You can set the strap off to the side for a moment. And then let's see, what are we doing next? All right, Warrior One. So, turn one foot out, step the other foot forward. This is our first side. Let's get that knee warmed up first, although it might be not too bad already. So we're going to inhale, straight leg, exhale, bend. Aiming for that second and third toe. If the calf on the back leg is tight, you can bend that knee too. So we want to keep the torso perpendicular to the floor so we're not leaning forward. We want to keep that up like that. Nice. Excellent. And let's do one more. Nice. Bend the knee, push off, step back, or step the back foot forward. Turn that foot out, second foot comes forward. Inhale, straight leg, exhale, bend. One more. And then push off, step back, or step the back foot forward. Let's see, since we're doing some shoulder stuff, let's do cactus arms. If you have shoulder issues, you can do any of the other styles if you prefer. So you just do hands to heart, or you could do arms straight up, but I'm gonna do cactus arms. All right. Ready? Here we go. So we're going to inhale, bend that front knee, bend at the elbows, exhale back. If you want to make this more work, pull the elbows back further. That's going to activate those upper back muscles, the traps. Don't overdo that because you'll feel that tomorrow. Excellent. And one more. Nice. We'll switch feet. And here we go. Inhale. And exhale. feet back together. All right, tree pose. Option to do your tree pose with a block. I know that my balance is up for that today. With a block. I'm not doing that today, but you can if you want. Or you could also have that if you want to do that. That's an option too. An option. Okay. Tree pose. So let's start with 1 foot flat on the floor. Maybe pick up the toes, spread them out, get all 4 corners of the foot activated. Root down, 2nd foot, heel above the ankle. Tripod or kickstand, whatever you like to call it. Start with the hands at the heart. And we're going to grow our branches. You can go straight up, index finger pointing up, power pose. If you have your balance you want, you can bring your foot up higher. You can do a Y or a T. Move your arms. If you feel a little wobbly and you fall out, you can come back in. The foot's up too high, wherever you want to be. But we want to keep the breath going. Excellent. And coming out nice and graceful. Excellent. Shake it out. And let's do the other side. Root that foot into the floor. Maybe pick up the toes, spread them out. All 4 corners of the feet. Heel above the ankle. Check in with this hip, nice and strong. Hands apart. You grow your branches. You go straight up. Y, T. Move the arms. If you have your balance, you can bring that foot up higher. Excellent. Coming out nice and gracefully. Shake it out. All right. We have blocks, so let's do high lunge. Add on with our warrior 2. So if you want to use the blocks for that, you're welcome to grab them and put them up at the top of your mat. If you don't want to use them, that's fine. All right. So 1 foot at the top, you're using blocks, foot's up by the blocks. Back foot's at closer to 90 degrees. Hands at the heart, arms open out to the side. You can bend that front knee over that front ankle, and then our gaze is over those front fingers. Just take a moment in our warrior 2. Take a couple breaths. Soften the shoulders, extend out through the fingers. And then we're going to go forward first, bend the elbow. Forearm comes to that front thigh. Back hand can be on the hip. Hand up towards the ceiling or that bicep over the ear. And then when you're ready to inhale, we're going to windmill the arms around so that front arm comes up towards the ceiling. And then here's your 2 options. So you can go take the back arm and swoop it under for high lunge, or if you like to, bring the arms back down, pivot that back foot, and then come up to high lunge. So either way, excellent. We're going to go back to warrior 2. So that back foot's probably going to pivot again. Excellent. Side angle pose. Inhale, peaceful warrior. And then the next pose is high lunge. So arms can come down or that back arm can swoop forward. You can be up on the toes on the back foot, or if that's too wobbly, keep the heel on the floor. Excellent. Back to warrior 2. And we're going to do one more time for side angle pose. Inhale, peaceful warrior. And then arms can come down, or the back arm swoops forward for high lunge. Excellent. All right, let's finish off in warrior two. And then you drop the arms and step the feet back together. All right, maybe the arms want to get shook, the legs. All right, let's switch sides. The other foot's in front. Oh, one of the other options for side angle pose, I'll just show you before you come into it. So we're usually doing this. Another option, since you have the blocks, is to come down lower or all the way down to the floor. I like this personally because it's more open. When you come down, there's a tendency to collapse the chest. So if we're up here, we have that rib cage more open. All right, warrior two. Hands at the heart, arms open. If you're not already there, bend that front knee. Take a couple breaths here. Awesome sauce. All right, bend that front elbow, side angle pose. That back hand can be on the hip. Hand up towards the ceiling. Bicep over the ear. Excellent. Inhale, windmill around to peaceful warrior. And then we're going to come into our high lunge. So you can swoop that back arm forward or bring both hands down to the blocks. Pivot that back foot. And then inhale, high lunge. So you can be up on the toes of the back foot or heel down, depending on how that goes. Awesome. Let's go back to warrior two. And here we go again. Side angle pose. Inhale, windmill around to peaceful warrior. And then come down or swoop forward to high lunge. Excellent. Back to warrior two. And one more time through side angle pose. Inhale, peaceful warrior. And then last time for our high lunge. Very, very good. All right, last warrior two. We'll drop the arms and step the feet back together. Excellent, check it out. All right, we're gonna do fold squats, and then we'll come down to the floor. So, yeah, these are really good for hamstrings, which if your hips are tight or you have low back tightness, sometimes those are connected. So if we're opening up the hamstrings a little bit, maybe it releases some tension in other spots. All right, so we'll do folds first and then squats. Here we go. So we're gonna inhale, arms up, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale, squat. You don't have to go that far because we're gonna inhale, come right back up. You can also arms out to the side, forward fold. And then arms up. And then squat. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, squat. Nice. One more time through. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale. Nice. If you want to sit on the floor from here, you can. Or if that's really awkward, you can come down another way. But you have your blocks, so that might help. All right, let's come all the way down to our spine. Grab your strap before you go. the feet at the top of the mat, hands on the knees, rolling onto the spine. And let's, before we do anything with the strap, let's do one-legged Apanasana. So we're gonna exhale, bend one knee, bring it into the chest. Inhale, that foot comes to the floor. And then other side, exhale, knee in, inhale, foot to the floor. Nice, all right, so release that. And then we're gonna grab the strap and let's start with the right foot. And bring the right foot into the strap, so the strap is at the ball of the foot. One strap in each hand. And then the two options. One, you can bend that left knee, left foot into the mat, or you could also straighten that leg out, depending on how comfortable that is. Might not be comfortable at all. The other thing we want to do is, instead of grabbing the strap up nearby the foot, we're going to bend the elbows and try and get the backs of the arms to the floor so that we're not gripping the strap too tight, or somewhere in between if that's uncomfortable, all the way down. I'm usually about by the knee. All right, so we're going to inhale. And then on the exhale, bring that leg in towards the chest. Inhale, release it back to center. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, back to center. And one more time, bring it in. And release it out. Option, sorry, I should have said this before. Option to do this without the strap is we do this plenty of times without, but since we have them, we'll use them. All right, so we're gonna put both straps in the right hand, and we're gonna bring the right leg out towards the right side of the floor. Left arm can be out on the left side of the floor. On the inhale, let's bring that leg back up to center. Exhale, release it out to the side. Inhale, bring it up. And one more time out. Exhale. And then inhale up. We're gonna straighten that left leg out if it's not already. Switch hands with the strap. Right arm out to the side, and then we're gonna cross the body with the right leg to the left side of the floor. If you want, you can turn and look towards that right hand. Excellent. We're gonna bring it back up, and then we're gonna do one more thing here. One strap in each hand. And we're gonna push the foot into the strap and pull the strap down towards the floor. So that helps kind of resetting the top of the femur into that hip joint. Excellent. All right, so we're gonna switch feet now. Bring that left foot up into the strap. Strap's behind the ball of the foot. Relax the hands if you're gripping too tight on that strap. Take an inhale. On the exhale, bring that left leg in towards the chest. Inhale, release it back to center. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, release it out. And one more time. Exhale in. Inhale out. All right, both straps in the left hand, right arm comes out to the side. We're gonna drop it, left leg to the left side of the floor. Inhale, bring it back up. And again, out to the left. Inhale, bring it back up. And one more time, out to the side. Inhale, bring it back. We're going to switch hands. Both straps in the right hand, left arm comes out to the side. Move the right leg out of the way. We're going to cross the body with the left leg over to the right side of the floor. And if it's okay with your neck, you can turn and look at that left hand. Excellent. Inhale, bring that leg back up. And then we're going to do that one more thing. So one strap in each hand. We're going to push the foot into the strap and pull the strap towards the floor. Excellent. All right, so we're going to release the strap without smacking yourself in the face and move it off to the side. And let's do a couple of Apanasanas, and then we'll do a nice deep twist. So exhale, knees in, inhale, knees out. Excellent. All right, feet come down to the mat. We're going to bring the arms out into a T. And then left foot comes to the center of the mat. We're going to cross the right leg over the left. And then both knees drop over to the left side. And then you can turn your head same direction as the knees. Keep it looking up at the ceiling or look at the right hand. Excellent. Inhale. Bring the knees up to center. Keep the same cross. And then we're going to drop both knees over towards the right. And you can switch the direction of the head, left, center, or right. Excellent. Both knees come up to center. We're going to switch the cross. And cross the left leg over the right. Going to drop both knees over towards the left. Inhale, knees to center, and then drop both knees over to the right. You can switch the head from left, center, or right. Excellent. Inhale, both knees back up to center. We're going to uncross. And then both knees come in to the chest. We're going to exhale in. Inhale, arms up overhead, feet up towards the ceiling. If you'd like, you can point and flex the feet. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to knees. Again, inhale, open, point and flex. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to knees. Inhale, open, point and flex. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to knees. Excellent. From here, if you like, you can rock side to side. That feels okay. Some people like it, some people don't. Excellent. And then let's bring the knees, feet down to the mat. And I'm going to step the feet out a little bit. Line up the spine, make sure it's nice and centered again. Arms can come out to a T, and we're going to do windshield wipers here with the knees. So you got 3 options. You can do just regular, side to side. Actually, I'll give you 4 options. Side to side. Second option is bring the feet closer together, and then drop one knee out to the side at a time. So this is external rotation. Option B. Option C, feet are wider. Maybe wider than the mat, and then we're going to drop one knee in towards the center. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, exhale, second side. Knee comes into the center, inhale up. So this is internal rotation, which we don't do a lot of in our everyday life. So those are 3 options. 4th option is to bring the legs together and then the feet up off the floor and then go side to side. So this is going to work deep into that inner core. So go ahead and finish up, do 2 more times each side. Excellent, and then coming back to center, we're going to finish off with Apanasana with wide knees, if that's comfortable. Exhale, knees in, inhale, knees out. Excellent. And then set the feet down on the floor, extend the legs all the way out. Arms come down by your side. We're going to finish off with palm tree pose arms. If going straight up overhead is uncomfortable, you can do cactus arms or snow angel arms. And here we go. Inhale, arms up towards the head. Exhale, back down. Excellent. Finish the one you're on and do 1 more. And then let's come into our final relaxation pose. I'm going to sit so you can hear me better. So, getting any last little wiggles out? If you are getting cold, you can put a blanket over you or under your head. Maybe tuck the shoulder blades under. And let's do our full body relaxation, walking up the body, relaxing each part as we go, starting with the feet. Relax the toes. Relax the tops of the feet, the soles of the feet, and the heels. Release the ankles. Relax the calves and shins. Release the knees and the space behind the knees. Relax the tops of the thighs and the backs of the thighs. Let the pelvis be heavy and sink into the earth. Relax the abdomen. Release the rib cage and let go of breath. Let the shoulders be heavy and sink into the earth. Relax the upper arms, elbows, and lower arms. Release the wrists. Relax the hands, fingers, and palms. Relax the throat and the back of the neck. Release the jaw. Smooth the forehead and face. Let any last thoughts seep out the top of the crown of the head. Let the earth's gravity hold you. Let the air around you breathe in. Take the next few moments and just be. Gently coming back into awareness. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. If you'd like, you can roll your head side to side. When you're ready, and with an inhale, rolling over onto your right or left side. When you're ready, and again with an inhale, pushing up to a comfortable seated position. Bring breath back into the body and find us safely on our way. Let's finish with sun breath number 2. Okay, it's this one, arms out in front, inhale, open, exhale, closed. 3 times. We're ready, here we go. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. And inhale, open. Exhale, closed. And one more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Bring the hands together, back to the heart, and namaste. All right, thanks guys. See you in 2 weeks.